Hey folks, we're back here today. We have another agent from Coldwell Banker. This is my partner, Catherine Pittman. We've been business partners for almost 3 years now. So let's find out a little bit about Catherine. How long have you been a real estate agent?
I have been selling real estate in Crestview now. This is going into my 7th year.
7 years, okay. So you got 7 years of real estate experience. What kind of things have you done?
A little bit of everything. I started off doing regular residential real estate, did a tiny bit of commercial, and mainly doing new construction now. That's my favorite.
We just talked to your sister, Kimberly Bird,
Yes.
a couple days ago about new construction. So we're not going to get onto that, although we are going to take a tour of this gorgeous Lincoln Grant construction home that we're standing in right now. But the first thing we're going to talk about is existing construction. Catherine and I go to listing appointments time after time after time, and it's always the same thing. What do I need to do to market my house? What do I need to do to get the most value out of my home? Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I re-roof it? Should I paint the whole house? What should I do? So we're going to go through a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit back and forth about the things you should do and the things you should stay away from, and where to spend your money, whether you've got $500 to get your house ready or whether you've got $15,000 to get your house ready. Let's talk about where you're at and what you need to do. That's going to be the first thing that we talk about. So the number one thing you should always do when you get ready to sell your home is?
Call us.
Absolutely. And if you don't call us because, I don't know, you're in Alabama or Ohio, something along those lines, if we're not going to come help you, call a real estate agent, call a realtor. Yes, you can sell your house on your own. Yes, you can do all that, but you can also re-roof your house. Doesn't mean you're going to do it right, and doesn't mean it's going to be the best way. So watch what you're doing, always pay attention, call the experts. That's what I would do. So I have $1,000 to sell my house, Catherine, and it's worth $150,000.
Yep. Okay, so a lot of times in that category, I think one of the most important things is you want to have a good first impression. So if that means, like, let's say the inside of your house is pretty average condition, doesn't need like a whole repaint, your carpets aren't dirty, there's nothing that's like a huge ticket item that you need to fix. In those regards, I would invest that money maybe in pressure washing the outside. If that's something you don't really need, clean up your front porch. You can, even as simple like using a water hose to clean it, scrub down your front door, put some mulch in your flower beds. A lot of times when people come to the house in that price point, they're looking and they're a little bit nervous because it may be their first time home buyer, maybe they're retiring, and they want to see that the house has been well taken care of. So if the first thing they see is like a moldy front porch and a bunch of dead plants, it gives the overall view that maybe you don't care for your home as well as you could. So if you give that really great first impression, like maybe put a wreath on the door, clean the porch, mulch the beds, you plant some flowers out front, that really gives a great first impression. Then when you walk into the house, smells are really important. I know that sounds crazy, but we toured some houses today and they just smelled weird. It wasn't anything particular, but it just wasn't a pleasant smell. So nothing overbearing, you know. A lot of times I suggest like the snuggle scent, the fresh laundry, that always goes over really well. Cleaning the house goes a long way too. Even if it's, you know, wiping down your walls. There's a lot of dirt that we don't see every day, like because you live in your house, but when you're showing it to someone new, they're seeing it from a different perspective. So if I had $1,000, I would do a little bit of care on the outside as far as my flower beds. I would spend the money to clean the exterior if it needs to be professionally cleaned. Clean your carpets if you have carpets in the house. We were talking a little bit earlier about lighting is really important in the houses. So the first step would be, you know, look and see if you have light bulbs. There's sometimes, you know, you've gone without a few light bulbs and a light for years. Now you're going to sell it, you know, spend that $12 on some LED light bulbs. The brighter the better usually. Like rarely do we walk in a house and someone's like, oh wow, it's so bright in here. It's usually just the opposite. You know, they're saying how dark it is or it feels confined, doesn't feel open. The next step money-wise, let's say you've done all that. Let's say your outside looks nice, your light bulbs are there. Maybe updating a few light fixtures, that's a big way, like a big impact item, as far as like maybe a dining room light, or if you have pendant lights over your bar and you built maybe 15 years ago, there's just different trends now that are really popular.
Right.
You could spend a few $100s in those spots and really get a big impact for people.
So one of the main things, if you remember when you bought your house or when you've seen any other house, when you walk in, the first thing you see, that's what you remember about that house. You don't say, hey, do you remember that house with the 13 by 14 living room? You say, do you remember that house with the ugly green door?
Yes.
Right? Not all green doors are ugly, but some of them are ugly. Mainly the ones that are white, but they look green. Okay?
Yes.
So it's one of those things that what I recommend is have somebody, not your family friend, not your neighbor that's there all the time, somebody that's not normally in your house, come through, don't get offended, and have them walk through. Because that nick in the wall that you've walked past for the past 12 years because Johnny ran his bicycle into it when he wasn't supposed to be running a bicycle in the house anyway, you've walked past it, you haven't fixed it. A new buyer doesn't want Johnny's mark. So you don't even notice that that's there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a bad thing. It's not different. You've just learned to live with it. A new buyer doesn't want to see that. They don't know that story. They don't chuckle every time they see it. They want it fixed. So have somebody come over who's not in your house all the time, somebody who's not there, not used to the same things that you're used to, have them come through, walk through your house and say, hey, this banister's a little loose, or this faucet really should shut off a little easier. Things that you're used to, things that you've grown accustomed to living with, that a new buyer doesn't want to see. Catherine talked a little bit about lighting. Lighting is huge. Nobody's ever sold a house on mood lighting. Okay,
Yes.
And they want to see bright. They want to see a nice, clean, bright space. So if you've got white paint anywhere in your house, touch it up with white paint. It helps brighten things. If you have dark paint in your house, which we walk into houses all the time that are dark red, they're dark green, they're brown, they're earth tones, which is fine. It's a lovely homey feel, but it doesn't sell houses. What sells houses is bright and clean. That's just the way things work. So if you have some really dark walls, either really brighten up your lights or consider painting the walls.
Yeah, I agree with Jason on this for sure, because one of the biggest things we see is people will click past your house just because of the paint. And it's something that's so simple. Like on our side, we just think like, wow, that's a $200 fix. You get some gallons of paint, you paint it. But so many buyers will discount your property for a purple room, an orange room, a blue room, because they don't want to take on what they see as work when they first move in. So on the work-related thing, you have paint that's an issue sometimes. And then you just have minor things like Jason mentioned around the house. So if there's something you know doesn't work, you know is not functional, you know is broken, or like he said, it's just ugly, go ahead and tackle that before you ever go on the market. Because every day you're sitting on the market hoping someone can see past that is costing you money, either on your mortgage payment or on your potential price drop later.
Okay, flooring. Flooring is another thing that we talk about. Catherine, how do you feel about replacing carpets?
Okay, so I think it's very price point specific on what you should replace, if you should replace it, and what you should put in its place. So when you're thinking about doing something that's a large ticket item like flooring, I would definitely say call Jason and I first and let us come over to the house. Sometimes what people consider carpet that needs to be replaced, we would think is fine. And sometimes people think their carpet's fine, and Jason and I are like, no, this guy can go. But in not all circumstances do you want to replace carpet with carpet. Sometimes like an inexpensive laminate or vinyl makes more sense in the space for the price point. Same thing with countertops we were talking about earlier. You know, some people, they get on that granite countertop kick and they think, okay, we're going to replace our whole house with granite. And we get there and there's so many things that money could have been better spent on that would have gotten them a better purchase price. Having high-end items in the house doesn't necessarily get you a high-end return.
Absolutely. To put it in layman's terms, you don't want to put lipstick on a pig.
Yes.
If the cabinets need paint or refinished, putting a granite countertop on top of it will not make you any money. It will draw more to the attention to the fact that the cabinets need work. So you really have to. You can't go with all the HGTV,
yes,
DIY buzzwords that say, oh, we're going to put granite here, we're going to turn a bucket upside down, put a light bulb in it, all that good stuff, right? That's all great, but those are all small things, really. The countertops in a resale home, unless you got one from 1978 and it is avocado, or you have harvest gold, or they're bright blue countertops, they may be great, you may love them, but a buyer's not going to like them. Most buyers. you don't want to put your house on the market to appeal to 1 or 2 buyers. You want to put your house on the market to appeal to 100 or 200 buyers.
Yes.
That's where you're going to go. Because in the market we're in right now, which is pretty quick, it's moving pretty quick. If you do the things we ask you to do, when we list your house, it'll be under contract within 2 weeks. That's just how it works. This market moves quick. If you don't, and you wait for that one buyer, then your house is going to sit for a while. Which, if you're okay with that, that's okay. If you're willing to take a reduced price, then you don't have to change some of those things, because somebody will say, hey, this is a $190,000 house. It needs $20,000 worth of stuff. I'll give you $170,000 for it. If you're okay taking $170,000, then life is good. If you want $195,000, then you need to do some of the things that we've talked about.
Right, and on the pricing, that's one of the biggest things, like hurdles we have sometimes with sellers is they'll say, we don't want to do anything. We just want to put the house in the market. And I think that's truly one of the biggest mistakes you can make when selling your house is to just say, here it is as is, don't take any of our advice, and just kind of put it on clearance really is what you're doing. It's kind of like when you go to get a shirt and it's got like a makeup stain or a pen stain, they put it on clearance, you can buy it for cheaper when you try to get that stain out. Kind of the same analogy in the houses. Some of the super small things are like taking out brass in the house. Like if you have brass doorknobs, if you have brass pulls on your cabinets, that's a very outdated item, but for under $1,000, a lot of times you can remedy some of those things. And there's lots of creative ways to do that. I'm not saying you have to have, $10,000 budget to make your house sell, but having a little bit of money to the side definitely helps, or some sweat equity and do some of it yourself.
You would be absolutely amazed what new cabinet pulls and what new door handles do to a home.
Yes.
It will update it immediately. It'll take it from 1995 to 2015, like that.
Yeah.
And it's just that simple, that easy. Now doorknobs, they run anywhere from $10 to $25 a piece, however you want to go with them. But you can do an antique bronze or antique rubbed bronze. You can do a nickel. You can do chrome. Brass is going out. Brass, it's not going out, it is out. So if you're going to sell your house and you have brass everywhere, you're going to be money ahead to replace every piece of brass in that house. If it's the faucet in the sink, if it's the faucet in the shower, if you change that out, you will appeal to more buyers.
Yeah, and you get the buyers to come through your house. So many people, I don't know the statistic offhand, but they're shopping their house before they ever walk into it. It's like when they're looking online, they're like clicking through, they're on the realtor.coms and the coldbaker.coms and all the different sites that are out there, and they will discount you without ever coming into your house, and you're missing the opportunity to show them all of the other 25 great features you have because there's something that immediately turned them off and they've taken you off the list. And we see that happen a lot where people don't take that small amount of money that can be spent, and here they are paying another mortgage payment. They moved on to the new house and they're frustrated. Then they finally do decide to do those items. Now they've spent thousands of dollars on all these other payments when they could have just done the small items and gone under in the first week.
And some of these things you may think that they're small items and people aren't going to see it and they're going to look at it on the internet. All I need to do is get them in my house. Well, they're going to look at it on the internet. The resolution on these things are fantastic. We spend quite a bit of money for a real estate photographer to come in and do our houses when we put them up there. We found that if we don't have a professional come in and do photos, that our houses will sit on the market. People won't look at them. Yeah. But if we have, and the one we use all the time is Jason Hall with J Beard Photography. He's outstanding. And the houses, he doesn't take a house that, he doesn't give you a room like it looks like it's 45 feet wide. He doesn't do the weird angles and all that stuff. He simply photographs your home the way it is. But if you have brass, it's going to come out in those photos because they're fantastic and they're clear. And people are going to see them on their cell phone or their laptop or whatever it is they're using. They're going to see them and they're going to see every piece that's outdated. That's what they're looking for because they don't want to pay full price for a house they have to walk into and do anything to.
Right. And we'd rather tell you what those small items are instead of having them offer you $5,000 less. Because when they offer you $5,000 less, they put in an email to us, this house needs a lot of updating. There's things that need to be taken care of here. And you're thinking, well, these fixes are $300 and $400. But the buyer is using that to justify their lowball price.
Okay, so that was a quick crash course in what to do before you sell your house. The number one thing to do before you sell your house is call us.
Yes.
If you're not in this area, then call us and I will find you an agent in your area that will come out and do those things for you. To walk through and say, hey, yeah, you can replace that, but you're not going to get your money back out of it. Yep. You can change all the carpet, but you're not going to get your money back out of it. It's okay. What you need to do is go through and fix the roof. What you need to do is this. That's what we do. We look at houses every day in person. We walk through them, we see them, we smell them. That's what we do. So if we walk in and your house smells like cat pee, we're going to say, hey, your house smells like cat pee. Let's fix this. I will tell you your house smells like cat pee. So we can get down that road, but that's the number one thing you need to do. Don't sell it yourself. Call us. We'll get you more money and have you spend less of it.
Yes, that's a super good point. These for sale by owners lately, they have been underpricing the houses. They want to save money and not have an agent. And then you look at what it closed for, and I'm just like shaking my head because they priced it $20,000 less than they should have to save $7 or $8 grand. It just all around doesn't make any sense financially.
And you can put your house on 3 websites. I can put your house on 837 websites.
Yep.
And I'll get it out there for you. So that's where we're at. Don't try to FSBO. It's not worth it. You'll make more money. Unless you're a real estate agent, and then you're done watching this anyway. So here's where we are. Call us. Let us go through it. Call your local real estate agent. Call your agent. Have them go through it before you spend a dime. Trust me, we've seen worse. Let us come in your house. Okay? That's the best thing you can do before you get ready to list your house. If you have any questions or anything like that, please comment on this video. Our info is on here right there. Give us a call. We will answer any question anytime. And always remember that Catherine Pittman and Jason Miller are the Florida Real Estate Connection.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys, I'm going to give you a quick tour of 5360 Wendell Circle. So as we come onto the front porch, we do 8-foot front doors in most of the houses in this neighborhood. This is located in Homewood Estates. This particular floor plan does have a full covered front porch. And I'm going to take you guys in and give you a tour. All right, this plan is 4 bedrooms, 2 bath. We did something a little different in this one that we haven't done before, and we vaulted the ceilings in the main living room and put wood beams in. So just a cool feature, just separates the house from, everybody else's, gives it a little bit of personal feel. You put your own little style in there. I really loved these lights. They are huge, but like a great statement piece in the kitchen. The kitchen is 2-tone, so there's a black stained island, and then we did bistro white cabinet. So it's good contrast there. You have like the rustic in the floor and some of the contemporary in there with the glass and the subway tile backsplash. So we tried to tie a little bit of that into every element of the house. So as we go room to room, you're gonna see some rustic, you're gonna see a lot of white and glass. This is gonna take you into the eat-in kitchen area. So there's enough room here. You can put a 6-foot table. You could fit 6 to 8 chairs over here depending on how you arranged everything. And then at the island here, there's enough room for probably about 5 bar stools. So we have lots of seating in this floor plan. The kitchen has a slide-in range. So stainless steel slide-in range, and then there's an exhaust hood above that vents to the outside. And then we have the microwave over on this side built in separate. This plan also has a formal dining room, or you could use it as an office. So this corner pillar here, that is not structural, so it can stay in the plan. You could take it out if it's not your style, if you rebuilt. We've had customers do barn doors on this room. We've had them put French doors in there. So lots of options in that space, kind of a flex space. Possibly could be a 5th bedroom. Okay, so this is gonna take you into the guest bathroom. We do double vanities in the guest bathroom. So you have lots of storage with the drawers and the cabinets. We did some white and grays in the countertops and in the floorings. That's kind of that mix of, you've got the rustic, you've got, so there's a mix of like, you've got the rustic feel, you've got the contemporary feel. So we did the framed wood mirrors. So we frame our mirrors to match the cabinets that are below. We did chrome fixtures in the bathrooms, and that's also in the shower. and then did oil rubbed bronze door handles and knobs. So kind of mixing the elements, mixing the metals. That's a newer trend right now. This is going to take you into one of the 4 bedrooms. These are good sized bedrooms in this house. You're going to have the 5-inch baseboards, oversized windows. And then we have the large closets in the guest bedrooms that have the pull-out doors. So you're not having bifold doors. We will have shelving in there, just not in yet, but we have the 2 pull-out doors. So gives you lots of access to the corners of the closet. So throughout the house and all the main living areas and the hallways, we have this Allen and Roth flooring. And the name of this color is Chestnut. But it's great affordable flooring, but has, very durable. We have lots of people walking in these houses as we are constructing them. And we offer the ability to have it in the master bedroom if you want to. You can do carpet in there if that's your preference. Some people don't like the feel of it on their feet when they get up first thing in the morning, but definitely low maintenance, very clean. We did farmhouse lighting in a lot of the different rooms. This is the master bedroom that has like a wood inlaid ceiling. So that kind of brings the rustic element into this room of the house. And then you've got the crown molding in here too. Okay, so this is going into the laundry room. So there's plenty of space on this side over here that you can do like a mudroom setup if you want to put shelving in there, benches, that kind of thing. We've got the washer and dryer space, and then there's a linen closet there. So lots of storage in your laundry room. One of the cool parts about this floor plan is the laundry room goes into the master closet. So eventually we will have shelving in this room, double deck shelving, but you can literally take your laundry from your laundry room into your closet. And then that goes right into the master bathroom. So you have huge double vanity in this one, framed mirror, farmhouse lighting, and this one has the chrome vanities also, and then the black stained cabinets. We do have a private toilet closet that's separate from the bathroom, and close the door in there. And then we have our tiled shower. So the tiled showers have the frameless glass doors, super easy to clean. You just take a squeegee, you don't have to scrub them, you don't get that gross film on them because they're actually glass, it's not a plexiglass. And it has the handle where you can open it going inside the shower or you can pull it out, which may seem silly, but it makes a huge difference just for all the different things, getting in and out of the shower, cleaning it, turning on the water, letting it heat up. You don't have that door with all the edges and it can only go one way, and something you don't really appreciate till you've had one versus the other. Going into the bathtub, that's a large soaking tub there. It has the Carrera Marble tile around that. Matching in with the floors, and another linen closet. And then this takes you back into the master bedroom. So we made one big loop. We went from the laundry room to the master closet back to the bedroom. And that wraps it up, guys. Thanks for touring 5360 Wendell Circle with us. All right, guys, thank you for coming to tour with us today and listening to Jason and I. This house is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. It's just a little over 2,500 square feet and $342,900. Thanks.